Not Facebook.
Not on Facebook, most on Christ.
Put up your attendance.
Most on Christ. All right. So you have no questions? We're gonna go ahead and get into this show of knowledge. We've been on the streets trying to teach our people. Okay, because people don't. That's the main thing. Like, it's very like before coming into the truth. Did you know that there was a set of laws? Come.
The only thing I know is Christianity, just the 10 Commandments.
Right. So now, okay, thank you for mentioning that. That's a good starting point. What is the 10 Commandments?
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Okay.
Well, not
No. Okay, that's not literally what is the 10 Commandments. But can I see?
The TV?
Yeah, Khan. They can't see it, right?
No.
All right, I'll turn it off anyway.
Salakia.
Khan.
The 10 Commandments, if I may, the 10 Commandments is supposed to be basically the how can I put it? Like there's like about 600 and something commandments, but it all rested on like
You're right, and that's the thing you need to main part. There is not 10 commandments. Right. There is 613.
613.
There are 613 plus. Now, do I or you have to obey 613 laws?
So like say that again?
Do I or you, or do we have to obey 613 laws?
Okay.
Come.
Well, it would be difficult right now.
No, it's not difficult. It's very simple. I just don't have to obey those laws, certain laws. And this is what people, like, you have to understand. Christians try to scare people by explaining the law in a wicked way, because we're going to get into that. The scripture says the law is not grievous.
Right.
What's it called? Christians explain it with that big number, 613. But where do I have to obey the law for periods? For a woman's issue, rather.
When do you have to obey the laws for?
Where do I have to leave town, get a ride? Like anything my bottom would touch would be what's called at all? No, why?
Damn, I heard this before.
Understand this. Why would I not have to obey the law specifically regarding a woman on her period? Come.
That's your house.
No. Why would I not have to cover everything I put my behind me? Am I a woman? Am I the one bleeding? The law that says you cover everything that you touch is for the person who's bleeding. You know what I have to do? I have to adhere to the fact that I can't touch anything that has blood around. Right. That's what I have to do. Here's another thing. Another law that people misconstrue. The Sabbath day. The Sabbath day ain't for us. The Sabbath day is not, who's us? Do you know?
Is it for the
No. When I say the Sabbath day is not for us, who's us?
I was just talking about would it be the priest?
No, not the priest. No, the Sabbath in a way is for the priest. Well, no, because they don't get a Sabbath. But when I say the Sabbath is not for us, when I'm saying the law, I mean the thing that says no work is to be done on the Sabbath. That's when I'm referring to law, I'm referring to the letter and in a way the punishment. I'll tell you if I'm not necessarily talking about one or the other. But in this, what's it called? I don't want to give it away, but if work is done on the Sabbath, you get your head cut off. That's the law. That doesn't apply to us, though.
Right.
Who's us, though? And why doesn't it apply to us?
It will be the civilians.
Civilians, or what's a better word? An E. The employees. If that cat comes in and says, I better see you 7 days a week, or you can't feed your family, I'm at his mercy. Right? Here's the truth. And that's why the law exists. So your boss couldn't do anything evil like that to you. But you have the Christian church teaching you that that's right. To be against, which is so funny. I always want to ask a Christian, like, what's stopping, specifically talking about Sabbath day, what is stopping me from working you to death? You try to bring up Sunday, I'll ask you to pull a scripture where Jesus or any of the disciples said to worship on that day. So once I smash, there is no Sunday worship, we're back to the question. Since you erased the law, there is no Sabbath day. I can make you work 20. What happened? Are we off? Are we off or? Okay, copy. We might be having technical difficulties. Salaki. Let me see if I can find it.
Salaki. Oh no, we too long.
Oh, we good. Okay, come. Okay. Come. We still live? All right, come. All right. So now, where did law start? Sure.
Did it start when the Most High, did it start in Genesis when the Most High told Christ to create?
Somewhat. Give me more. Well, yes and no. Yeah, to a point, yes and no. But come a little further after that.
When the Most High told Adam to when the Most High gave Adam dominion over the earth.
Give me Genesis 1:26. There's the beginning of what would eventually become law. People do not understand this verse at all, right? The Christian church has you like really thinking this verse is talking about something completely other than it is. Okay, first off, let's go with your premise actually. First off, hold 26 and go to Genesis 1:1.
Come on.
Go to verse 1:1, and then I'm gonna have you get me Colossians. I'm gonna get Colossians, the backside up. Salaki, let me just quickly do this. That's why I hate these big Bibles sometimes. Salaki, I fiddle with the pages. Colossians. All right, come. Salakia, read Genesis 1:1.
Come on. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Now, what was your statement earlier? What did you say initially was the beginning of the law?
When the Most High told Christ to create, to start creating.
Creation, right? Okay. Now, Where's that record? Okay, come. So we're gonna have to do a few things. Okay. Give me Genesis 1:1.
Come on, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, the Most High created the heaven and the earth.
Okay. Now break that down.
In the beginning, the Most High created the heaven and the earth, meaning that
Wait, who created the what?
In the beginning, the Most High.
No, that is not what is written there.
You want me to read as it is?
No. Read what should be there.
Come on. In the beginning.
Remember, that's
the power.
The power.
Come on, come.
Power is plural. Now that's the thing you gotta understand. Okay, we'll start there. First off, here's the thing you gotta understand. The Most High created nothing.
Right.
The Most High is a boss.
Right.
You know what he does? The same thing Jeff Bezos does. Goes into outer space while you do all the work. He sips mojitos in a goddamn space station, right? While you break your back carrying boxes and some other cat supervises you. That's the Most High. The Most High's throne room is literally 23 elders, if I'm not mistaken, getting that number wrong, cats with crowns on their head that literally do nothing. They do not eat, they do not sleep, they do not defecate. All they do is sit there, throw down their crowns, and say, Kodash, 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 meaning holy, 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 or there's no one like you, there's no one like you, there's no one like you. And same thing, and then next to them, he has 4 beasts with eyes surrounding them, like a drug dealer and his dogs or his goddamn Tony Montana's tiger. Like it shows masculinity, like I control these animals. God created nothing, right? He created he created beings to do that for him. Hold Genesis 1:1 and give me John 1:1.
Oh,
and we're gonna prove that. Read it as is, and then I'm gonna have you read that as is.
Oh God. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was
now stop before. Okay, come, keep going. Read it.
John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Okay, now, well, here's the thing you have to understand. First thing you have to understand is that the word God is not God's name. That's a big misconception in the goddamn Christian church. Like, I'd be so confused because, like, stuff like Jehovah's Witnesses, but, like, Jehovah's Witnesses are the only ones who really rock Jehovah. You ever realize that? Everybody else calls him God. But that's not the man's. God itself, people need to realize, God is literally a title. It literally just means a power or authority. When you look it up, it'll say the powerful one, right? Or in certain translations. But that's basically the translation of it, a power or authority. Now, I'm going to have you read this again. Now, understanding. Now, everybody understands this is Christ, right? And we're going to explain what's going on here and how that goes into creation. Keep going. And look.
From the top, sir?
Yeah, come. But this time, don't say God. Translate it properly.
Come on, God.
Right.
In the beginning, it's like John chapter 1, verse 1.
Right.
In the beginning was the Word.
So in the beginning was the Word, right? So what's the Word? The Most High. Whose Word, though? No, whose Word is it?
The Most High's Word.
Right. Keep going.
And the Word was with the power.
Now, no, the power.
The power.
Now, you have to understand. Okay, this gets a little like Y.O.U.P.K. That's the Most High. Ya'ala, that's technically the power. Kwara Ya'ala, the power calls. Right? That's the Most High. But when you go into the Hebrew, and I believe it starts in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, which is the first appearance of Yahweh, is Yahweh al-Hayy. Translated, that's the most high of the powers, right? But essentially, technically, there's only him and his word, right? So in the beginning, there was the word, right? And the word was with the power. Keep going.
And the word was the power.
Okay. Now, you don't want to necessarily say that in that instance.
And the word was power?
Right. Meaning what? He was with the power and the word was power. You understand the law? Meaning,
can we start from the beginning?
Yeah, come.
Go on.
In the beginning, you want to read it or?
Come on, come on. In the beginning was the word. So this word is the Most High's word.
No, the word is the Most High's word, but it's Christ.
Okay, so the word is Christ.
Right.
God. In the beginning was the word, which is Christ.
Right.
And the word, which is Christ, was with the power.
Right.
Which is the Most High.
Right.
Okay, come. And the word, which is Christ, was power.
So break that down.
So in the beginning was the word. In the beginning was the word.
What is the word?
The word is Christ.
Right, but what is the word exactly? Why is it referring to him as the word?
Because
why does he exist? I already broke it down. God's a boss. Bosses don't get up to do anything. So why does there was only the power, and then the power created the word, and then for whatever reason, come.
Since you like seeing like bosses, like Christ would be the capo, like he would be the one that tell others what to do.
That's perfect. That's a perfect way to look at it. I would have used gangster, but yes, a capo. What's it called? He's the supervisor. He's the cat who's going to get off his behind and actually do the work to create everything. Right? Now, why does it say the word was power?
And the word was power. Because the Most High gave Christ the authority to command.
Authority to command, to create, in order to do everything. Right. Now drop that. Give me Colossians 1 and 15.
Colossians 1 and 15. Come on, God.
14 actually, so we're all clear. Okay, so we understand. Christ created the universe, so we're gonna find out exactly how that happened. Because understanding that helps you better understand what law is. Right? Keep going.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood.
Now, who's that talking about? I just needed that to preface the next verse. But who's that actually talking about?
This is talking about Christ.
Right, this is talking about Yahweh. Keep going.
Even the forgiveness of sins.
Keep going.
Verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible power?
He is the image of the invisible power. Meaning, okay, now we're going to break down image a little later, get into it, but understand image is reputation. Meaning, like, why does he come in God's reputation? Or why does he come in God's image?
Why does Christ come in God's image?
Right. With reputation. Why does he come in God's reputation or God's image? It's very simple.
Because that's who the Most High looks like?
No. Come.
Most High is his father.
Yeah, give me a little more.
The Most High is his power.
Give me a little more. Why do people respect you at your job? Come.
Because I'm the supervisor.
So what that mean? Why does not just necessarily you as the supervisor and your people, why does anyone respect you or your subordinates? Why do we respect the police?
Because they have authority? And
they have authority, right? which is another way to say, what's another word for authority?
Power.
Right. Meaning what? What's called, who gives them that authority?
Gives the police the authority?
Who gives police the authority?
Isn't
it the government?
Come.
So whose image or reputation are the police in?
The government.
He's made in the image of the invisible God.
Come.
Meaning what? He's given power through the invisible God.
SHALAM.
Okay. You get it?
Can you initially repeat the question?
Who is the, meaning this is 15, who is the image of the invisible God? Meaning what? Meaning like that's who he is. He comes in that reputation. He is the epitome of God's reputation, God's image.
Come.
Right? He is his main representative on the planet and in heaven. Keep going.
Go on, card. The firstborn of every creature.
Of what?
The firstborn of every.
No, Lucifer. Keep going.
The firstborn of every.
What's called Michael.
The firstborn of every creature.
The firstborn of every creature ever is Yahweh. Keep going. Or rather Christ. Christ, because understand there's a bit of a difference. Keep going.
Verse 16, for by him were all things created.
For by him were all things created. Keep going. Come.
The him is talking about Christ?
Yes.
Come.
Meaning what? The Most High did not even create. Keep going. Salaki.
Come. That are in heaven.
That are in what?
Heaven.
That are in what?
Heaven.
All things, if I'm not mistaken, I'll go get back to, I'll double check, but all things, the elders and them beasts I mentioned, what's called, were most likely also created by Christ. The angels, Christ. Keep going.
And that are in earth.
And that are in earth. Keep going.
Visible and invisible.
What's invisible?
The angels.
No. Yes, but what else?
The spiritual world.
Yes, what else? Protozoa, plankton, coronavirus. You can't see coronavirus. Christ sat there in a lab and created and said, yeah, I'm going to make this virus and it's going to kill millions of people. Visible and invisible. Keep going.
So that's what it specifically means?
What do you mean?
Like
anything visible and invisible. Whatever you see, whether you can see it or you can't see it. The Most High is the author of it. I don't see I don't see evaporation. I do know the Most High created evaporation though. Keep going.
Whether they be thrones.
Whether they be thrones, whether it be a power, right? A nation. Keep going.
Or dominion.
Or somebody in control of an area. Keep going.
Or principality.
Or some type of government.
Or power.
Or some type of authority, right? Not even just literal powers on this earth, like the thunder and the plague and the famine, right? Your throne. Joe Biden is Jesus Christ is the reason Joe Biden is president. It was all created by Yahweh, of his design, of Christ's design. Rather. Keep going.
Come on, card. All things were created by him, and for him.
And what?
And for him.
And what?
And for him.
And for him. Or for him to what?
Sir?
For him to what? All things were created by him and for him.
Okay.
For what?
For Slakia.
Okay, say what you're gonna say. You need a hint?
I want to say for not for his pleasure, but for him to rule over?
That's a better word, yes.
Come on.
I would have kind of accepted pleasure, but that's a better word, to rule over. Now that we have all that understood, right? Christ created everything on earth. Let's get a better understanding. Give me 1 and 1 again.
Come on, card. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Now, understand, John 1 and Colossians 16 happened before Genesis 1. Now read Genesis 1.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, the power created.
No, the powers. The powers. When you read it in Hebrew, it'll say Bara Ashiaf, Bara Alhayim, Ath Shemayim, Wa'ath Arataza. Yeah, kind of. What's it called? Alhayim is the powers in this instance, right? Meaning the powers plural. Who are the powers in this instance?
The powers are the it's all about Christ and the one that he's commanded to help him create.
Christ and the angels.
Come on.
Right? Christ and the angels created the heavens and the earth. The Most High sat back and watched. Now, you know when you see the Most High?
So I could ask a question.
When do you see the Most High? And this is going to prove what I'm saying. When do you think you see the Most High? Okay, huh? The Most High gave them a job, create the heavens and the earth, right? With your job, when do you see your boss?
Only when I mess up. Or when I finish my task, I report to him.
Right.
Come on.
Created this, and it was good. We created these beings. They reproduce themselves like a chicken will never give birth to a pig. What's it called? An apple will never make an orange tree. So on and so forth. They all survive off this stuff, which is combined by taking 2 atoms of hydrogen and a piece of oxygen, and the entire planet's 70% of it. It's called H2O. I guess they'll call it water or mayim, right? And don't worry. After time, the heat from the sun will be able to bring it up, take the water, raise it into the sky, and once the clouds get too heavy with too much water, it'll start to fall down onto the earth and start to wash the earth and create more plant life that might have been that may have been scattered, because birds will naturally just take up seeds and just scatter them, because that actually does happen. That's how that's why people got to be careful with gardens and stuff and always weed them, because the bird will just grab a seed from out of nowhere and then be in your garden for 2 seconds, and then a year later you got a whole ass tree. But they did that. The Most High saw all of this. This is good, right? So now we get to the 6th day. Give me 26.
Come on,
Come.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Come.
So now do we say the power still?
Yeah, the powers.
And the power said, let us make.
Let what? Let who?
Let us.
Let who?
Let us.
Let who?
Let us.
Why is it saying us?
Because it's more than one power. It's Christ and the angels.
It's Christ and the angels. Idiots will try to tell you the Trinity. There is no Trinity. Okay? Keep going.
Let us make man in our image.
Now, what is image?
Image is the reputation of the Most High.
But what does he mean by image? What is reputation in this sense? What's our image? What's our reputation?
Keeping the Lord's statutes, commandments.
Yes, but give me a little better.
Being perfect.
Yes, but give me better. What's another way of
being obedient?
Carrying
out orders.
That's it.
Carrying out orders.
Everything you said was right. Keeping the law, being obedient. You want to say it a certain way so you can understand it. Carrying out orders. Because here's what you have to understand. This is not, Adam and Eve are not the first people. What you're seeing is the creation of the heathen. You understand that, right?
Can you say that again? This is it.
That is what's called Genesis 1:26. It's creation of the heathen. Because remember, man was this is the sixth day when the heathens were created, when mankind was created. Right? Adam wouldn't be created till after the seventh. When it says, "Let us make man in our image," I can only tell my dog to do so much. The dolphin, for whatever Esau wants to say about their intelligence level, will never take over the world. The dolphin will never come out of the water or try to build like fire in the water because they want to say, no, we need to cook our food and wear clothes. The dolphin will never do this. The monkey will never do this. However, let us make man in our image. Meaning what? In our reputation. The Most High said, I want this done, this done, this done, this done, and this done. Christ got to it, created the angels, and said, we are going to build this. I want you to do this, you to do this, you to do this, and you to do this. And they all came back and did it. And now we have a perfect planet. Let us create man in our image. We give him instructions on what he does, what to do, and we know that he's functionally capable of carrying out those orders. Meaning what? We can make an Asian stop eating dog. We can make a white man stop eating pork. We can make them bathe. We can make white people bathe. We can get them to follow instruction. That's what this is talking about. This has nothing to do. We are made in God's image. No, here's what this has to do. Maybe you'll be a little godly if you shut up and do what he says. That's what it means, but to be made in God's image. You have a chance to not be a dog. And I'm going to prove to you right now, this has everything to do with following law. Read.
After our likeness, and let them have dominion.
What?
And let them have dominion.
Keep going.
Over the fish of the sea.
Of the what?
Over the fish of the sea.
Why can't we control the wind? Keep going.
And over the fowl of the air.
Why can't we control the water so we can stop flooding? Keep going.
And over the cattle.
And over the cattle. Keep going.
And over all the earth.
Keep going.
And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Now, where do all of those things sound familiar? The bottom half of that verse.
Is this talking about
It is very prevalent. You got to understand. It's very funny because there's this. It's gonna come up again later to prove itself, to show that law has always been there. But it's this same goddamn law. And it shows that there's a very big thing to the Most High. He basically said, I'm going to create man to have instruction so he can control the animals. What control do I have over the animals?
Does this have to do with Noah?
Yeah, somewhat. But what? What control do I have over the animals? You know, I'm about to make a decision right now. What decision I'm about to make? And I told you earlier.
Something with Adam.
What?
When the Most High gave Adam dominion over the
Well, this is everybody. Meaning, you're talking about the naming? No, that has nothing to do with the naming. Somewhat, but no. Let them have dominion over the fish and over the fowl of the air. If I have dominion over you, who has to say over your life?
No one, because you're in power.
Who? No. So who has to say over your life? If I have dominion over you,
no one.
How? If I get to say whether you live or die, who has dominion? Who controls your life? If I get to say whether you live or die, exactly. I control your life. Right. So I have dominion over the fish, the cattle, the creeping thing. Right? Where does all this sound familiar? Because we're talking about law and the history of law.
Oh, God.
Think about it. What law cares about fish and creeping things and cattle? Come.
Leviticus, the dietary law.
The dietary law.
Come.
This, having dominion over the animals, that's why I prefaced it and said, I get to decide over who lives or dies. You know why? Because in a few hours, depending on how I feel, I might kill a chicken and a lamb, or I might just kill a cow. You know what I'm never going to do? Kill a pig. You know what else I'm never going to do? Kill shrimp. Why?
Because you have dominion over them.
No. The Asian has dominion over the dog.
Just like it, because you have the law.
I have instruction. I've shown I can follow instructions. Right? And soon the Asians will. And all the other nations on earth will. They will show that they can't shut up and do as I tell them to do. And bow down to a black man named Jesus Christ. Right? Now, where's the next time that we have to deal with law?
The next time we have to deal with law is when situation with Adam and Eve.
Actually, no. No. The law has always existed. And this is the point. The Christian church tries to also say that it came with Moses. You know how many laws there are before we even get there? What's the next law that's really mainly like, first off, be fruitful and multiply, but we're going to skip over that. But it's kind of in the same vein. I help you out. Give me Genesis 2 and 22.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 22. And the rib which the Most High power had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
Meaning what? A woman from his side. A rib, when you look it up in the Hebrew, literally means side or pillar. Right? He made him a woman or a wife. Woman and wife are the same word in Hebrew. Also, husband and man are the same word. So anytime you see a sister, like the English will say my husband, she's literally saying in the Hebrew, my man. I.S.U.P.K in the Hebrew. Any questions online?
No,
Okay. Keep going.
Verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones.
Keep
and
going.
Flesh of my flesh.
This is now the bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Right? Keep going.
She shall be called woman.
She shall be called woman. Keep going.
Because she was taken out of man.
She was taken out of man, meaning what? She was taken out of man's family. Not literally taken out of man. Matter of fact, did you read the end of 26? Actually, you're supposed to read 27. What's it called? Male and female existed before Adam and Eve. Right? Adam and Eve had parents. Okay? Now, read 24. And this is the law. Understand, this is a law. Keep going.
Verse 24.
Okay, keep going.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
And they shall be one flesh. Right? What's called? Now, the whole part about leaving your father and mother, you do not necessarily have to do that. You can live with your parents and still be married.
Correct.
Right? What it's saying necessarily is, at that point, you ain't really a baby no more.
Correct.
You are somebody's husband. You are somebody's wife. Right? You are gone out to go and start your own family. They shall be one flesh. That's how you're looked at in the community. You may both live in your parents' house because y'all ain't secure enough financially to have your own spot. Right? At the end of the day, you're looked at as a unit. Or that's how it should be. Right? Now, We're gonna drop that. Give me what's it called? What's another law? We're gonna skip all that. It'll skip Adam and Eve, right?
So you saying this is like the second law? Not the second law, but this is the second encounter of giving law?
This is really one of the, well, you could technically skip another, be fruitful and multiply, but yeah, there's also one. Be fruitful and multiply is in chapter 1. But this is basically the second version, the second basically the second instance, yeah.
Oh, so what we just read is basically the Most High commanded Adam to get him a woman? Is that
no. What this is the Most High having Adam take a woman in a way so that Adam knows, I was pleased by this because that's how I wanted it. So teach your children, do it like this. You went out and acted. Okay, here's the truth that we kind of gloss over. Adam didn't ask questions like most Jacob. Like Jacob see one of the old flames in the street. Who is you? I never knew your name. You asked sex 5 to 10 times, never knew your name. Adam did not ask this woman if that was his cousin.
Right.
Who her family was or not. He just, right? Found out after the fact. Right? That's why he's like this bump. That's why it says he put him to sleep. The putting him to sleep is he ain't asked questions.
No.
Okay? Not necessarily saying you don't ask questions, but Adam was put to sleep because Adam was, or like many of our people today, his children, think it's cool to go outside for race. But the Most High said, no, you're the difference. You're going to marry yours. Wow. You're going to marry within your family. This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Technically, no. The law before marriage itself is your wife has to be bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. That's law. And you know that because why? Why? Genesis 6. We'll get that in a sec, but give me 4.
Verse 1, sir?
Chapter 4, verse 3.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought out the fruit of the ground, an offering unto the Most High.
Keep going. So Cain brought fruit. Keep going.
And we'll come, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Most High will have respect unto Abel and his offering.
Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Now stop. Here's what you need to understand. Keep going. Keep going.
So we'll come, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Verse 6.
Give me verse 7. Read verse 6, Kyle.
So we'll come, verse 6. And the Most High said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Why is thy countenance fallen? Countenance fallen. No, I'm saying, keep going.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not
thou do what?
Well.
Thou do what?
Well.
What is well? What was happening here? What were they both attempting to do?
To give an offering unto the Most High.
Why? Who would have said to even do something like that?
Because the Most High asked for it. He gave the commandment for it.
He gave the commandment, or he gave
the order.
The order, or he gave instruction. Do this. This is how he gave instruction. Here's why I say better instruction. Because you know what the book of Leviticus is? Instructions on how to properly perform a sacrifice. Have you read the Torah, like actually sat down and read it, or Aaron had 4 sons. Only 2 have lineages. You know why? 2 of them approached the Ark of the Covenant when they shouldn't have. The Most High consumed them with fire. You do what the hell I tell you to do, or you will die. And you know what happened after their bodies were burnt up? Moses looked at him and said, they messed up. They did what God said not to do. Right? Now, what is it saying? Basically, here's the thing, so you understand. God don't like fruits and vegetables. You know what God likes? Blood. Why? What's the precept for that? I'll help you. The wages of sin is death. Does a watermelon die?
Nah.
Does an apple die?
Nah.
How about one of Abel's lambs, though? Yeah, that dies. God needs to see something die. Back then, our ancestors were lucky. We could break some minor infraction and we could just kill a bull or we could just kill a lamb. None of that rocks now. Now I need to see you die. Right? That's law. Cain and Abel had to obey sacrifice law. Where do you think they got it from? Their father. Now, we're going to skip that. 7. Give me chapter 7, verse 2.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 2.
Right?
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Verse 3. Of fowls also of the air by sevens.
Now, why is he saying this? Why is he separating this? First off, what does this also prove? That they had to have had. If he's able to tell him, take clean and unclean, what does that mean they had to have had?
They had to have law.
They had to have had dietary law. Because they wouldn't know what clean or unclean is.
Good.
Right? So meaning what? Meaning what? That are not clean by two. Meaning by two. Meaning what? Basically, 7 chickens, 2 dogs. 7 cows, 2 pigs. Meaning by sets.
Cool.
Meaning 7 sets and 2 sets. Right? Because why? You'll eat more of them. Well, you're obviously going to eat those. Right. The others, they'll do whatever they want. Right? They'll go off to a frolic. Okay? And that's that law. Now we're going to get what's called the next law.
So now, can we stop that verse? What's that? Verse 3 or 4?
I believe 4.
Okay, no, slap it. Verse 3. Come.
Hold on 1 second. Salakia. Okay. Now give me Genesis 11 and 31.
Okay.
And we're about to see if the word, we can find the word law in the Bible. Like, if there is no law, how does this exist?
Genesis chapter 11, verse 31. And Terah took Abraham, his son,
right,
and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son,
right,
and Sarai, his daughter-in-law.
In what?
In-law.
In what?
In-law.
In what?
In-law.
What is a daughter-in-law? Have you ever looked at that word? Have you ever looked at that word to really think about what you're saying? Mm. What is your daughter-in-law?
Your daughter-in-law will be your son's wife.
But look at the word. Like, use the word to break it down.
Come on. And his daughter-in-law, meaning that
because what did we just cover about marriage? What do your parents do? Technically, because you leave father and mother, what do they not have to see you as?
As one flesh.
So, but according to who?
According to the Most High.
And his? According to the Most High and his?
And his law?
Right. You're my daughter in terms of the law.
Come on.
That can't exist if there is no law, though.
Come on.
You get it? We are, keep going. Yeah, say what you're going to say. You and my son are one flesh. Y'all are a unit. That can't be broken.
Right.
Come.
So in other words, this is like a, they knew that not to commit adultery or incest.
They knew not to commit adultery. They knew not to commit incest. They understood there is a, okay, you got to understand. Genesis 2:24, or rather him having sex with Eve, is literally the first marriage on record. Before that, niggas was dogs. You have to understand, yes, the heathen was given instruction. The Salakia was given instruction. Adam is the first man to receive instruction. Come.
So before that, it was mass adultery going on there.
Basically, nobody had the concept of when I deal with you, I should stay with you.
Right.
It's just my penis feels good when I go inside you, and then my penis will feel also good when I go inside her, and then him, and then this dog, and then this, and then this. Basically like cavemen. Adam was the first civilized man. Adam was given these records, all of them. Everything that Moses wrote down and gave to Israel, Adam already had and created himself. Created in the respect of he studied the stars and was able to use them to understand the law. Okay, so that's what this is. And matter of fact, go in the Apocrypha real quick, Bible show, and we're gonna show you that. And I'm gonna pull. Give me Baruch 3:1, I believe.
Oh God.
Where's that over by? That's after Wisdom of Solomon, right? No, I don't think it
This is Baruch is
yeah, I use the 16:11 so much. I use
after Ecclesiasticus.
after Ecclesiastes. Can't throw I'll be using that 16:11 so much. Salaki. So this was just up here. So 3 and Salaki. 4:1.
Oh God. Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Okay. There's the keep going.
This is the book of the commandments of the power.
Of the power, right? No, in this instance, that would be the Most High. Or you could say the power, but that's the Most High. Come.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High.
Right?
And the Lord that endureth forever.
And the Lord that endureth forever, right? Keep going. Now we're going to get, this is Genesis 2 and 7. Keep going, read what you got.
Oh my God. All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that what?
That keep it shall come to life.
Shall come to life. This is Genesis 2 and 7. And the Most High power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Read what you got again.
Oh God.
Read from the top.
Oh God. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, that the Lord that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life.
Meaning what? Before it, you were dead. This isn't literal. Neither is Genesis 2 and 7. Breathed into his nostrils. How do you know it's not literal? Because there's already people existing for 1,000 years. At least. Right. Or in that span of time. And breath of life. And the man became a living soul. Keep reading. Now, keep going.
But such as leave it shall die.
Shall what?
Die.
Shall what?
Die.
If you eat this fruit, you shall
die.
That's what happens. That's what happens. See, that's why you take these. That's why books like this have to be taken out the Bible.
God.
Because at the end of the day, if you had an understanding like this, it'd be very hard to fool our people. Okay, now, are there any other instances of law in the before Moses is officially mentioned? Technically, there's Noah.
God, I was supposed to say no.
What's it called? Because you don't just curse your son for nothing for seeing you naked, unless you already know it is a bad thing for seeing your son naked, to see your father naked, right? These are laws that existed before our people. Now, come.
Salaki, if I may, I don't mean to go off the topic too much, but Salaki, what do Christians say that
Hamites.
I've heard bits and pieces that they say that sons of Noah had sex with him, or just seeing his nakedness.
All he did was really see him naked.
Salaki, have you ever heard that before?
What, that they had sex? No.
God.
No. There's no. Show me that in the scripture.
God, absolutely. So
right.
But
yeah, God. No. But yeah, technically there's that one, right? But that's law. Law has been around since before Moses. Matter of fact, we're gonna get that one. Give me Genesis, I think it's 26 and 17. Hold up, might be a little. 26 and 24, about to show.
But on God. Genesis chapter 26, verse 24.
Now understand, all of our ancestors had the law. Understand, Abraham had the law. Abraham was chosen because he kept the law. Because out of his entire family, like his father was a star worshiper. His father did not worship the Most High. But his father, like most of our people, didn't eat pork. Maybe didn't like homosexuals. He understood the law and knew of the law. He just didn't keep it fully. Abraham's like, no, I'm all in. This is what our ancestors wanted, and that's right. I'm not gonna worship a goddamn star. Somebody put a sword to my throat. How is a star gonna save me? The Most High will, though. The Most High saw that and said, no, I can do something with this. Right? Read verse 24.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 24. And the Most High appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the power of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant.
Salaki, I thought that was. Hold up, one second. Salaki, bear with me 1 second. Yeah. Five. Salaki. Give me four. Wait, 20, yeah, 26 and 4, yeah.
Verse 4. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven,
right?
And will give unto thy seed all these countries, right? And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Keep going.
Verse 5. Because Abraham obeyed my voice.
What?
Obeyed my voice.
Keep going.
And kept my charge.
Keep going.
My commandment.
My what?
Commandment.
Keep going.
My statute.
Keep going.
And my law.
My what?
Laws.
My what?
Laws.
My laws. Now, we're gonna end it with this. Not the class, but as far because we've beaten this with a hammer. There was law before Moses.
Right.
If there's no law before Moses, why is Jacob mad at Reuben? Why aren't we what's called? Why isn't Jesus a Reubenite? Why? That's not rhetorical, sure. Why isn't Jesus a Reubenite? Why would he be a Reubenite? You know what Reuben did?
They was the situation when the other nations raped their sisters?
No. Reuben's the older brother. Reuben's the oldest.
Oh, Salakia. Salakia, they put Judah in the ditch or something?
No, that was Joseph. That was put in the ditch. Reuben slept with Jacob's wife. He defiled his father's bed. Matter of fact, give me that. Give me Genesis 49. Salakia, I'll get you the exact verse. Give me 3. It's 49 and 3.
Come on, God. Genesis chapter 49, verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, in the beginning of my strength.
This is Jacob at the end of his life telling Reuben about himself in the end. He's his might and the beginning of his strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. The Reubenites to this day are the Cherokees or the Seminoles. Like, in order to be called civilized by our oppressor, you really had to roll over and be a coward. I don't want to call out people cowards because I understand it was a hard situation. But you had to be basically, don't fight. If you wanted to fight for your land and for your freedom and all that, the white man considered you a savage. That's history, right? However, the Cherokees fought back, but they had such a level of dignitarianship. I'm not even sure if that's a proper way to say that, if that's a word, but they were such good dignitaries, rather, they couldn't help but be called one of the civilized nations. That's what this verse means. Keep going.
Go on, God. Verse 4. Unstable as water.
But they're very unstable. Keep going.
Thou shalt not excel.
And that's why they didn't succeed, and the white man controls Florida. He's not supposed to. The Cherokees are still at war with them over that, technically. But yeah, keep going.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Keep going.
Then defoulest thou it.
Keep going.
He went up to my couch.
He went up to my couch. Meaning what? He slept with my wife. Mind you, that's one of the 12 tribes' mama. But I'm not going to name names. Yeah, I think that was Bella he slept with. Yeah, but yeah, if there is no law, why is he saying this to his son? First off, well, we ain't even going to get into Joseph and how the brothers were afraid he was going to kill him. But there's no law, right? Now, what's called, the law wasn't kept, right? So now we have to keep it now. So people try to say that we don't have to keep the law now. Give me Matthew 5 and 17.
Oh, wow. Matthew.
What do you think?
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not I am come to destroy the law.
Don't think that I'm come to destroy the law. Keep going.
Or the prophet.
Or the what?
Prophet.
Or the what?
Prophet.
I'm not come to destroy both either the law or the prophets. What does that mean? Meaning I don't get the idea that I'm trying to undo everything that the men that came before me. I'm trying to follow the same formula that they did. And that is a great and powerful thing. To really sit there and keep going on a system that nobody believes in, that everybody questions. Because this isn't being taught now, right? The law was not being properly taught. The law of the prophets were not being properly taught, right? Washing your hands is not a law, right? Giving your parents a gift is not a law. What other evils were they doing? Sinners stoning people, not a law. Right? That's not lawful. Okay? Keep going. I am
not come to destroy the law. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
But to fulfill
Good
kind.
Can we go over that fulfill part?
Okay.
That fulfill part now?
Bring it to its completion. Come.
Meaning that Christ kept all the laws? Or
you don't want to say that.
Come.
Why don't you want to say that? Jesus kept all the laws. You're right, Jesus kept all the laws. And then guess what he did? Guess what he did when he kept all the laws and kept sin contained in his body? He went on that cross and nailed it to the cross. And that's where sin is to this day, brother. So we're not guilty of it because it's nailed onto the cross with Christ. Now, give the tithes and offering, which is a law. So we and get this over with, so we can have the annual yearly fish fry, where we have the snow crab legs and the shrimp, and Sister Betty bought her famous smothered pork chops, and we gonna all sing about how Jesus nailed sin to the cross. So if you need to realize, if your uncle molested you, Jesus nailed sin to the cross. That's Christianity. Don't think that's what Christ is really saying. Don't think I came to do that dumb-ish. Do not in your mind think that I in any way am coming to change the law. I am not coming to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. What would be the opposite of destroy? To build it up, to make it great. The law isn't being kept right now. You have wicked men in the sea who take your tithe money and then have sex with your wife. Cats will really kill you for washing your hands. That is an abuse of power. There is no law. Come on.
So what's the proper way what to say but to fulfill the law?
To bring it to its fruition. But you don't want to say it like fruition, like he fulfilled it, like it's over. Because people think fulfill means like in the sense of completion. Like it's over. Fulfill in this instance is more so like he brought it to, meaning like his thing is, what is the law? That we all follow. That's what he's fulfilling. I came not to destroy the law, to make it so that we don't follow the law. I came to fulfill it, which is what? Everyone will not tell his neighbor, see the Lord, but every man shall know, see the Lord. I'm paraphrasing. Shall know the Lord. Right? Keep going.
Verse 18, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
Shall in no wise pass from the law.
Till all be fulfilled.
Till all be fulfilled. One jot or one tittle cannot pass from the law. So everything in it will be fulfilled. Meaning what? You cannot take anything out of the law. The law will always abide. Right? So all be fulfilled. Keep going.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
And that's the evil part, because this is the evil that the Christian church does to you. Right? Keep going. This is the evil that it does to you because it doesn't tell you this. Keep going.
And shall teach men so.
Break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so. Keep going.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
You are cheating these people out of eternity. I'm going to explain this again. You are literally cheating people out of eternity. Like, God can do whatever to you, right? Put you in whatever situation he wants. But if you're on the right end that we're about to read in a second, you'll really always end up Mark Zuckerberg. You'll always end up Rockefeller. You'll always end up, name another white man who started from the bottom and made something. Warren Buffett. Right? You'll always end up making all of that, doing all of that. Instead, you choose to teach these people the thing that's going to have them living in a shoebox. You choose to teach these people the thing that's really going to make me their supervisor. Honestly, thank you. But yeah, you're evil. You're destroying these people's lives. Okay? And you're going to get your own sentence for it. A sore day is coming to the Christian pastor for the information I brought out today that he does not teach.
That's right.
He does not teach that the law has been instrumental in the foundation of the planet from its inception. And what is the scripture here saying? In order to go into the future of this planet successfully, keep going.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
If you do these commandments and teach these commandments, you're going to be called great. Right? That's what the scripture says.
God.
What's it called? That's what happens if you follow, what's it called? That's how you become successful in the future, by keeping the law. Our people failed because we did not keep the law. King Solomon wanted to marry white women, and African women, and Asian women, and so on and so forth. How did the earth flood? Because they wanted to marry African women and Asian women, and so on and so forth. Obviously, they weren't literal African and Asian and so on and so forth, but the spirit was the same. The sons of God, the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, during that time, which you would call the Adamites, saw the daughters of men. What's a man? Some filthy, disgusting cocoa. What's it called? Like I.S.U.P.K getting all that slack about his daughter that he has with that white woman. Right? You married the daughters of men, and now your daughter's going to get clowned for it. Right? Because y'all have some preconceived notion that every mixed baby, quote unquote, because there is no such thing as mixed. You either see your parent, your father, Salafi. What's it called? Every mixed baby is great, because that's what the Bible says. And they created giants, and those giants became renowned as well. That's what that means. Northwest is so beautiful. Why? Because her mom's Kim Kardashian instead of Nia Long. Right? That somehow makes this baby so much better than your baby. And that's the evil part. We don't want to keep law because we want to listen to bastards that don't want us to be great. And that's all it is. You don't want me to be great. If I'm great, you can't be greater. Okay? Now, we're going to get this. Now, we're going to get that guy who everybody swears speaks against the law. Come on, 1 second, bear with me. Give me Acts. Salakia. (21 and 20).
Come on.
Actually start at 18. Start at 18.
Come on. Acts chapter 21, verse 18.
Right.
And
keep going.
And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present.
Right.
Verse 19.
So there's Paul giving a report, right? Keep going.
Verse 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things the Most High had brought among the Gentiles by his ministry.
So he's basically giving a report of the things that happened during his ministry. Now, there's a cut for two things. There's a cut for the laws done away with, and there's a cut for who Paul was sent to. Keep going.
How is the cut for the laws was done away with?
You keep going.
Come on. Verse 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Most High, and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews.
Where? Who?
Thousands of Jews.
Who?
Thousands of Jews.
Slavi, do me a favor. Go back and read 19 very quickly.
Come on. Verse 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles.
The who?
Gentiles.
The who?
Gentiles.
Keep going.
By his ministry.
So where was Paul ministering to? No, who was he ministering to according to verse 19?
The Jews.
No, according to verse 19.
Gentiles.
Read verse 20 again, Dr. Michelle.
And when they heard it, they glorified the Most High, and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe.
Now, keep going.
And they are all zealous of the law.
Of what?
The law.
The what?
The law.
Read 21 and we're going to break it all down.
Verse 21. And they are informed.
And this is the cut. This is the cut. You can't play semantics with me in verse 21.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews, which are among the Gentiles.
Read that again.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews, which are among the Gentiles.
Salakia. The Gentile breakdown, I don't take this the wrong way or what's called misunderstand me. Really don't like the Gentile breakdown. You know how the Gentile breakdown exists? Centuries of brainwashing and loving your oppressor. It's over, bro.
Right.
It's over. Paul went to Jews.
Right.
That lived amongst the Gentiles.
That's right.
This book was written in a whole ass language I've never known. Thousands of years before I was even born. And then translated hundreds of years before I was even born. I ain't write this.
Right.
I'm not a crazy nigga on a corner. I'm just a nigga who can read.
Right.
Now, so what do we just see? Paul is going out to Jews that whose ancestors at least stopped keeping the law.
Right.
And said, a man came to forgive you of your sins. So what is he teaching them to do? To be zealous for the law. Why?
The laws was never done away with.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 21 again says, Salakia. And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews, which are among the Gentiles, to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs.
Okay, now what is he saying? Meaning, like, they're trying to say that he's basically going around telling these Gentiles, meaning our people who just never kept our culture, you ain't got to worry about circumcision. Yeah, well, forget about what Moses said. We're not going to listen to that, right? And basically people are getting misconstrued, like he's saying F Moses and F the law. That's not what he's saying. What you hear when Captain Tazariak, I believe, it might have been, I think it was Captain Tazariak that broke it down. Give me verse 25.
God. Verse 25. As touching the Gentiles which believe, they have written and concluded.
We have written and concluded.
Slakia, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, right? And from fornication.
Meaning, baby steps. You ain't going to get the entirety of the law today, right? He understands these are people that have never kept our laws, right? All right, so here's what we're going to start you off. Start, Con.
Sorry, if I may, maybe if I'm going up. This sounds like today's Christianity, where they only basically know to keep the Ten Commandments if they keep it at all.
Not necessarily, you don't want to put it like that, because what they're doing is righteous. Right, this is Peter and them giving instruction to Paul on how he should deal with the Gentiles. Because they have certain, what's called, remember, you have to understand, the law is the law. if you come around me uncircumcised, I'm going to cut your head off.
God.
That's the law. So you coming around, so you got Paul coming out saying, yo, yeah, come be a Jew. Come to the Passover, do all that. What? I'm not circumcised. I've worshiped Christmas, so on and so forth. Worshiping Christmas at any time in your life is a death penalty crime.
Right.
If it is a known fact you have ever worshipped Christmas, we will kill you. I was 5 years old. My mama made me do it. Kaplow, 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 kaplow. There is no negotiation. You know how real it was? Paul killed children that said Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Before Paul converted, Paul admitted, I killed young and old, babies. I would go into your house and kill an infant. If he said Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, Jesus Christ, what's it called? If he said Yahweh Shai is Mashiach, yeah, you died. I don't care if you're 20 or 2. That is the law. We're going to start y'all off easy. Don't worry about all that. You don't got to get you don't have to be circumcised, because we're actually scholars of the law, taught by the creator of the law, Christ himself. So we know that in Leviticus, the 26th chapter, the only requirement God has of you is that your heart be circumcised. Right? What's your heart being circumcised? All the evil in your mind, your heart is your mind. All the evil in your mind, take it out. What's the evil in your mind? Christmas. Don't eat any more Christmas ham. Don't fornicate.
Right.
Don't break the basics of the law. And then in a month or two, when I'm done with Paul, I'm going to send him back up there, and he's going to get the rest of y'all straight. He's going to teach you how to walk like us, how to start to speak our language, so on and so forth, so you can be reintegrated into your society. Because that's all this is. The truth is about reintegrating our people back into our society. How do you have what society? A society and government based off law. We have a code of ethics inside of this body. You have to learn that. And we're not just going to dump 613 laws on you. We're going to start you off with the basics. Don't celebrate no holidays, and don't do no nasty stuff. Like be with your woman on your period, sleep with somebody's one. None of that freaky stuff. Don't rob nobody. Don't shoot nobody. I believe that's what the blood is talking about. I'll probably ask to have this broken down. Basically, baby steps. That's not wrong. Like sometimes when brothers have certain afflictions and ailments, they need baby steps. Like in the case of a heroin addict, obviously they shouldn't be out there saying, okay, I usually do 10 cc's of heroin, but today I'm going to try to take it down to 8. Don't do that. Go to rehab, brother. Or call the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and we'll help you get off the heroin. But scientifically speaking, like anyone who's ever watched something like the Ray Charles movie, when he was getting sick, that was because he refused heroin substitutes. Heroin is a type of drug that if you do not have it, you start to die. And that's what was happening to Ray Charles. You cannot quit. It is dangerous to quit heroin cold turkey. You can very easily die doing it. That's why certain things during the coronavirus, when this first started, I was like, yo, drug out. And it shows you a lot of this is not saying the coronavirus is what's it called, but it shows you how much power Esau has, because dope heads you didn't have a problem with dope heads just dying in the streets from withdrawal symptoms. Like dope heads was able to get high, pot heads was able to get high, coke heads was able to get high. Like I saw nothing on the news about a shortage in the drug community. Mind you, this is supposed to be illegal, Slavic. Right? So what we have here is we're seeing straight up the law was kept even under Paul. Paul had you keeping the law, right? And Salakia. Matter of fact, we're gonna end it off with Romans 6 and 1.
Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? So, what is that saying? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Should we continue? Should we still sin because we have grace, mercy, like?
Okay, what is grace? Just so for
It's
the
just like a time period for you to get right, like a mercy period.
right, like your Con Ed bill, you got a grace period, right? Keep going.
Verse 2, the Most High forbid.
Most High forbid, God forbid, right? No.
God.
You can, because I'm not going to kill you today, does not mean you can just not get me my money tomorrow.
God.
Because Con Ed said you got 1 more month, does not mean you can take a vacation and not go to work and make money. You need to pay your electric bill, or else they're coming back to shut off your lights. Drop that, give me 15.
Go to God, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
Now understand. This, okay, here's another problem Christians have. What is that talking about?
That's talking about we are not under the law, meaning that there's not a priest right there to kill you when you do sin.
Right. This has nothing to do with physically not the actual letter of the law that says don't eat pork. We are still under the law that says don't eat pork. When the Bible says, because the Bible does say, the law is done away with, it is talking about the Levitical priesthood, the enforcement agency that reprimands you for breaking said law. Now there is no agency. You're left to your own devices. Meaning what? No one's going to crack you upside the head for being a homosexual. Right. You're just going to get AIDS. No one's going to be running behind you trying to make sure you don't sell drugs. The white man's just going to arrest you, or your, what's called, gang rivals are going to shoot you. That's it. Keep going.
Come on, God. The Most High forbid. Verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
Meaning what? You are his to obey. You do what he says, and that's what happens to you. You want to continue to be a sinner, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to die a sinner's death.
God.
Or if you serve righteousness, you'll receive righteous rewards. Right? And that's the law. The law will always be in effect. You will always have to keep the law. Okay? So heaven and earth pass, and the earth abideth forever. Matter of fact, give me that. I want to say that's Ecclesiastes, the first chapter. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4, come. We're going to end with
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Okay, and that's what that's talking about. The earth will always exist. One generation passes away, another comes, but the earth abideth forever. One generation. I'm not. Hold on. Let me get that in the. Hold on. Let me see that in the Hebrew. It's like it 1 second. We about to end off right now, y'all. Baba Bashar Tuwadif is hanging with us. Just holding it down. 1 second. Commander John YAHANNA should be up in the next few seconds. 1755. No. The war age generation. Yakan. One generation. Okay, this age of society, like world.
Right.
Okay. One world passes away, another comes in. Right? But the earth abides forever. This age, this generation, this time period is coming, it will come to an end.
Right.
And another one will come in to replace it. Ours. And that world will abide forever. But the earth will always abide.
Right.
Okay? Our world will always abide. With that, I'll pass the class over to Priest and Officer. Shalom.